So we continue with Economics AS past paper, May, June 2020. The extract. Section C, yeah.
Question 12. Define the term equilibrium. Extract A, line 2. The equilibrium price of palm oil decreased in 2018. The price of competing vegetable oils include rice,
Okay, just call it and move on.
soybean, and sunflower also fell in 2018. Palm oil is used in the production of biodiesel as substitute for crude oil. Lower crude oil prices during 2018 caused a fall in the demand for biodiesel.
Okay, thank you. So the point is, they said we should define the term equilibrium, but we have to analyze it through the extract A, line 2. So based on the extract A, line 2, equilibrium price, so equilibrium is where both demand and supply meet. That is the point. Equilibrium is where both demand and supply meet. So, it simply means that there's intersection between demand and supply. So if demand and supply is meeting at a market price, it will bring about this allocation of resources efficiently. That is what equilibrium is. Equilibrium is the price of agreement between demand and supply, which brings about allocation of resources, efficient allocation of resources. Because every now and then that the market is at equilibrium, it simply means there's efficient allocation of resources.
Okay.
So go to B. With reference to extract A, explain the impact of availability of substitutes on the price elasticity of demand for palm oil. So first, you have to define what a substitute is, what price elasticity of demand or elasticity of demand is. So for price elasticity of demand, is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of the product as a result of a change in price. Therefore, substitutes, these are goods that can be used in place of another. So here, demand is considered price inelastic if the quantity demanded doesn't change as a result. So we're going into how elastic or inelastic a demand is. Because as soon as we define price elasticity of demand, we have to talk about the interpretation, which is inelastic or elastic. So demand is considered inelastic if there's no significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. It is elastic if there's a significant change in the quantity demanded as a result of a change in price. So based on the case study, crude oil is a substitute to palm oil, as they can be both used for biodiesel. So therefore, what happens? An increase in palm oil, or an increase in any of those goods would make the quantity supply the quantity demanded of another, which is a substitute, to increase. So as soon as, for example, as soon as the price of palm oil increases, which is a substitute to crude oil, as soon as the price increases, consumers will switch to buying crude oil, which is a substitute to palm oil. So at that point in time, we could say that the demand for palm oil is price elastic because there's availability of substitutes. Is it clear? Question C. With reference to the information provided, analyze two reasons why the price of palm oil decreased in 2018. So based on the case study, I'm just going to quickly go to the case study and get everything. Okay. Based on the case study, the equivalent price of palm oil decreased in 2018. The price of competing vegetable oil, including rapeseed, soybean, and sunflower, also fell in 2018. Palm oil is used in the production of biodiesel, a substitute for crude oil. Lower crude oil prices during 2018 caused a fall in the demand for biodiesel. So the question is asking us about what? The question again.
With reference to information provided, analyze two reasons why the price of palm oil decreased in 2018.
So the price of palm oil decreased in 2018 based on what they said there.
Actually,
the supply, more palm oil was produced in 2018. That was one reason. That means supply exceeds demand. So that means there's a rightward shift in the supply curve for palm oil. The quantity supplied in the market, it starts from the quantity. The quantity supplied in the market for palm oil increased. That means it expanded from QE to Q1. Because as soon as you're starting both your demand and supply curve, you have to start with equilibrium. It is assumed that the market is at equilibrium. The situation, yes?
Can you use expansion and contraction?
Yes. So the quantity expanded from QE to Q1. That brings about a rightward shift in the supply curve from S to S1.
Perfect.
And as soon as that happens, the price would fall. Do you understand? Price will fall from PE to P1 because there's excess supply.
Mm-hmm.
So excess supply will bring about an increase. Excess supply will bring about a fall in the price of the product.
Okay.
And that will bring about disequilibrium. So for the market to be back into equilibrium, it means we have to work on quantity supply. We have to reduce quantity supply or reduce the price to make the market goes back to equilibrium.
Okay.
So that's the first point there. I think you get the point here. Now for the substitute, because the price of substitute are falling. So there's no point you can also increase your price because it's a substitute. So because the price of substitute are falling, it is expected of your own price, of palm oil price, to also fall. Not only because of supply, but because the price of substitute has also fell. So those are the two reasons why the demand for the price for oil decreased in 2018. Excess supply of oil and the price of substitutes for oil. Do you understand?
Yes.
So both the substitute will shift because the price of substitute are falling. The supply curve will shift rightward also. Yes. Is it clear now? So there's a graph there which shifts the supply and demand will fall because it is excess the supply. For us to explain excess supply, it means demand has to reduce, demand has to contract, supply has to expand.
Okay.
Is it clear? We go to question D. Read the question, please.
With reference to figure 2 and extract A, examine the likely price elasticity of supply for palm oil.
Okay.
More palm oil was produced in 2018 than was consumed.
So we go to price elasticity. First, you have to define price elasticity of supply.
Price elasticity of supply.
Yeah. It's the degree of responsiveness between the quantity supply of a product as a result of a change in the price of the product. Then what are the interpretations? So we have, if the PS is greater than 1, it means it is elastic. So if the PS is greater than 1, it means there is a significant change in the quantity supply as a result of a change in price. But if the PES, so there, we go back to the case study.
So you went and you explained the first point, you explained the graphs.
Yes.
Okay, for elastic and elastic graph.
Yes. So for elasticity here, they said with the stockpile, based on the case study, with the stockpile, it means an increase in price will bring about a release in the stockpile, which means there's elasticity. There's elastic supply there.
There's
elastic
quantity and there's a price.
Supply. Because an increase in price will motivate producers to supply more, but they have it in a stockpile. That means a stockpile is that it's there. They have the capacity to keep it. So as soon as price increases, they can release the ones that they've stocked. So that means there's elasticity. So as an increase in price makes them to release the ones in the stockpile.
Okay.
So that means supply is elastic at that point in time. Okay. Do you understand the point there? Then we go on to inelastic.
If the PS is greater than...
If the PS is less than 1, it illustrates an inelastic supply. So with harvest, based on the case study, said harvest happens twice. Based on the case study, harvest happens twice in a year. This means irrespective of price, supply might still be delayed because just twice in a year. And we have 12 months in a year. So if harvest happens twice in a year, it means you need maybe every 6 months before you can supply more. So irrespective of what the price is,
so there's no
you cannot. So
there's no significant change in quantity demand as a result of price.
Quantity supply as a result of a change in price. So it is inelastic at that point in time. Do you understand? Yeah. So also there are few countries, based on the case study now, we have Indonesia, Malaysia, and other countries. There are few countries.
Malaysia, Thailand, Colombia, and others.
That supply palm oil. So that means we have few countries supplying. That means there are few supply. So irrespective of what the price is, we only still have these countries supplying. So it makes the PES to be inelastic. Do you get it? So I got also there are a few countries which produce palm oil, which means a rise in price will not significantly increase the quantity supply. This indicates inelastic demand, inelastic supply. So in summary, the supply of palm oil can be inelastic in the short run. It's only in the short run because in the long run, we're going to have more supply. All factors will be variable. So it means even countries that cannot supply palm oil
can we use something like 2 technical points?
Yes.
A rise in one variable will be
for 2 technical points, you're talking about, the first one is a rise in one variable which brings about a change in other variable. But here, you have to understand that we have just short run and long run. Okay. So based on supply means what we are able to produce. What we're able to produce is limited at this point in time because we don't have resources that can allow us to produce further. Yeah. Maybe we don't have workers that we can employ at this present time. In the long run, we can manage to recruit workers. But in the short run, all factors of production, one will be fixed in the short run. But in the long run, countries that cannot even produce palm oil might be able to produce it in the long run because they might be able to get the crop or the seed of palm oil and start planting it in their own farm. So in the long run, it is possible that we have more countries producing palm oil. Do you understand? But in the short run, because it's in the short run, one factor is fixed. So that would make the supply to be priced inelastic. Do you get the point here? So how elastic or inelastic is about time. And time is about the short and the long run. So the time to which you can easily find it or not makes it to be price elastic or inelastic. So here, when I talk about short run and long run, I'm talking about time, which is one of the factors that affect supply, that affect price elasticity of supply and supply itself. Okay. Is it clear? So go to question E. Question D, right? E, right? Okay. They said, are you sure E?
Yes.
Okay. They said, with reference to extract B, discuss the externalities associated with the production of palm oil. First, what is externalities? Externalities occur because there is cost and benefit to the third party. Now we take it one at a time.
We explain what is cost, what is benefit, what is everything.
Yes. So the first thing is you divide externalities, which can be divided as the cost or benefit to the third parties. Now we take each one at a time. Cost, which is external cost. What is external cost? External cost is the cost to the third party who are not involved in decision making. That is external cost. So what are the reasons why we have external cost? The first one is that producers don't consider the impact of external cost of their action to third party. So there's external cost because those who take the action, those who make the action do not put into consideration third parties. They don't care. So because they don't care, it brings about external cost. You know, we're talking about externalities now. So it is based on the action or inaction of an individual, of government, or of a firm. So if an individual makes a decision without putting into consideration the effect or the impact on third party, it will bring about externality. So if it's about positive effect, it's positive externality or or external benefit. But if it is negative, that is negative externality, which is external cost. So I'm starting with external cost. So one of the reasons why we have external cost, based on the case study, is that producers don't consider the impact of their actions on third party. That is about negative externality. Producers only consider their own private cost. So what concerns them is the cost they incur. So because it's what concerns them is only the cost that they incur. They don't think about the social cost. And the difference between the social cost and the private cost gives us external cost. So in as much as you're not thinking about the social cost, you won't think about the external cost. Do you get the second reason there? The third reason is that there's a large scale of deforestation due to poor management of expansion of production. Based on the case study, it's written there. There's poor management due to expansion. There's deforestation. It's written there. That's an externality. Okay. So yeah, there's a large scale of deforestation due to poor management of expansion in production. This doesn't go in line with sustainable development. So there's lack of sustainable development because habitat they are losing habitat because of production of oil. Do you get the point here? Mm-hmm. So this is an externality because there's poor management. This is their own action. They are not doing things right. There's sustainable development, which means our decisions of now should not affect those coming after us. So the future generation should benefit, not to become a cost on them when we make decisions. Do you understand? So there's no sustainable development because there's lack of sustainable development based on their decision, poor management. It is an externality, negative externality. In Indonesia and Malaysia, production has caused loss of habitats affecting animals. It's in the case study.
Yes.
And biodiversity means the medicine cannot be produced. So there's loss of biodiversity because we cannot have plants to produce medicines. And that is a negative externality. It is the action of those firms that makes it impossible for us to get medicines. Do you understand? So here, all this I have said is about welfare loss than gain. Mm-hmm. So there's a welfare loss. So we have to use a graph analysis for the welfare loss, which means both our marginal social cost, our marginal private cost must go up. If it is benefit, the marginal private benefit and marginal social benefits must come down. That is how the graph analysis should be. So look at it here. All the above stated, all what I've said, will bring about welfare loss rather than gain. So here, there's a welfare loss. Why is there a welfare loss? There's a welfare loss because the marginal social cost exceeds the marginal private cost. That means the marginal social cost is greater than the marginal private cost. This is the equilibrium. But based on the fact that there's welfare loss, price elasticity, the equilibrium pricing, there's an high equilibrium price from PE to P1. So cost of production increases, cost of external cost increases. Do you get the point I'm making here? This is marginal social cost and marginal private cost. Both of them will bring about a higher price. Do you get the point here? But the fact that the society is paying more than those that made the action, that is externality, negative externality. Do you get the graph now? So welfare loss is as a result of the marginal private cost higher than the marginal social cost. So the marginal private cost, the marginal private cost is lesser. Marginal private cost is lesser than the marginal social cost. Because the marginal social cost is greater than the marginal private cost. So this is the graph analysis. Price is increasing from equilibrium, there's equilibrium. Now, quantity supply is reducing, but price is increasing. The welfare is lost. Because if there is a decrease in quantity supplied and price is increasing, welfare is lost rather than gain. That brings about negative externality. So this is the graph for negative externality.
Perfect.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Any question about that? No. So that is for supply. Then we have our supply curve here. Then we go to external benefit. What is external benefit? External benefit is the benefit to the third party. So what are the reasons, what are the causes of external benefit? There are some here, please. Producers do not care about their own, the first one I wrote is what?
The private benefits.
Yeah, producers don't care about their private benefits. So because there's external benefit, that means they produce and they don't put into consideration their own private benefits. They care more about the society. That increases the external benefit. Because social benefit is private benefit plus external benefit. So if producers do not care about their own private benefits, it means they put more in the social benefit. So social benefit greater than private benefit is positive externality. Do you get the point there?
Again, sir.
Producers, the first point I made is producers don't care about their private benefits. What is private benefits? The benefits to the individual or to the firm or to the government that made the action or that take the action. That is private benefit.
How can a government give private benefits?
Benefit is just what you gain from your action.
Oh, okay, not anything to do. Okay, perfect.
It's not private. It's not private sector.
No, I don't mean that.
Okay. Government is an economic agent. Individuals are economic agents. Firms are economic agents. So when we talk about private benefit, it's the benefit to any economic agent, which can be government, individuals, or firm.
Okay.
So here, there's private benefits here because the producers do not put into consideration their own benefit, rather they think about the societal benefit. So thinking about the society benefit means that the social benefits of their production would increase more than the private benefit of their production. You get the first point there? Yes. Producers put into consideration the impact of consumption to the third party. So they care more about what consumers are consuming. Mm-hmm. That's why they might care about that. As a result, they reduce the price. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? That's the second point. The third point, the private benefit of palm oil production tripled between 1998 and 2018. It was said in the case study. So if it tripled between 1998 to 2018, it means they would have sold more. Mm-hmm. Revenue has increased. And if revenue has increased, firms would have spent into the economy by employing workers, by increasing output. Yes. Do you understand? So these are all external benefits. Mm-hmm. Do you get the point here? And I also wrote, employment in the sector increased. Employment increased based on the case study. Employment in the sector increased, which means income level increases. As income level increases, spending of consumers would increase. Yes. The aggregate demand would increase for them. And that's an external benefit also. Is it not an external benefit? Yes. So, then it is graphically represented as this. So both the demand, the curve will go down because cost is reducing. And if cost is reducing, it means benefit is increasing.
Yes.
Do you understand? So based on that graph, our marginal social benefit will be more than the marginal private benefit. Then there's a welfare gain here. The other one is welfare loss. Here is welfare gain. So there's welfare gain if marginal private benefit or marginal social benefit exceeds marginal private benefit.
Okay.
That is positive externality. And there's welfare loss if the marginal social cost exceeds the marginal private cost, or the marginal private cost is lower than the marginal social cost. Is it clear? So that ends question 12.